Okay, very quick video, very amateurish, to make you, or show you how I make my naan bread. You need just under 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour, a heaped 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, 2 tablespoons of oil. I use canola, but you can use vegetable oil, sunflower oil, whatever. A 1/4 cup, 60 ml of plain natural yogurt, and a tablespoon of milk. Keep those two out for a couple of hours so they get to room temperature. We're going to need something to prove the dough in. I use this and cover it in cling film, and it'll need to go in the oven, which I preheat to 90 degrees centigrade in a fan oven. Okay, so you mix the flour, the salt, the sugar, the baking soda into a pot. Give them a good mix, then dunk in your yogurt and your 2 tablespoons of oil. Flour. You'll be using a lot more to make the dough as well. This recipe, by the way, makes 2 good-sized naan. So heaped 1/4 of baking soda. That's too much. There we go. That'll do. Okay. 1/4 of salt. And the same for sugar. 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. Okay, mix it well. Okay. In goes the yogurt. And then 2 tablespoons of oil. I'm doing this one-handed. So that's the basic ingredients for now. Give it a good mix slowly, mix it all together. And now add the milk, tablespoon. So when mixed, you get your wet dough like that. That's a little bit wet, so I just grab another handful of dough, or half a handful, whatever you want to call it, and stick it in and mix it again. And then liberal flour on the countertop, and pour your dough out and start kneading. Now it does stick to your hands quite a bit, but keep persevering. Add in little bits of flour as you go, and then you'll make a very soft dough, which when you actually touch it to spring back out. I'll show you the finished product in a couple of minutes. You need to knead it for at least 5 minutes. Now I usually use 2 hands to do this. I've just turned it out and just gently kneading it to get it a bit more dry. It does stick to your hands, but that will come off, as with all dough. You can feel it's nice and sort of springy and spongy as well. The early ones I used to make were just too dry, and you can always make it a little bit less dry as you go if you put too much liquid in by adding more flour. But I'll show you the finished product in a minute, because I need to use my other hand and I'm not a professional like our mate Al. I haven't got the gear, I'm using a hand phone. Bear with me, a couple of minutes peeps, and I'll be back. A brief example, excuse my t-shirt, I've been working in the garden. A brief example of how I knead my dough. Nothing spectacular, I don't know if it's the right way, but it seems to work. Just roll it, fold it, roll it, fold it. It gets a little bit tacky, Just a little bit more flour. It does need, I have found it does need to be kneaded for, as I said, at least 5 minutes, potentially up to 7 or 8 minutes. But you can feel it when it's ready. It gets very springy. But because I've only been kneading for a couple of minutes, I'll keep going. A little bit more flour. Now on the recipe that I initially got this from, which I'll add, and I've already added on the on our webpage, Facebook page, she makes double this amount and makes about 6. But for me, this is ample. And I have cooked both in one day and kept one in foil in the fridge and just warmed it through in the microwave the next day, and it was just as nice. Well, that's my electric going on and off. This is Thailand. Okay, this is after about 5 to 6 minutes kneading. Little bits of dough, flour as we go along. And this is the test. Basically, it's fairly springy. It doesn't come out full out straight away, but it's springy. You know, it's nice and soft. Okay, so then you get the whatever you're going to use in the oven to prove it. A little bit of oil. Stick it in, roll it round, upside down, coat it all. That's it. And give it a bit of a push. Now, I prove this for at least 3 hours usually. It's not going to double in size massively because it hasn't got any yeast in it. But it does increase in size, and if it doesn't increase in size, then you're not going to get the fluffy dough on my naans that I seem to be getting at the moment. But you know, hopefully it definitely maybe 1.5 times up to 2 times the size, and then I'll come back when I'm ready to cut this in half and roll it out for making the actual naan and putting the toppings on and then cooking it. I wanted to show it ready to go into the oven. Loose cling film. And oops, sore ears. And then I put lid on. 3 hours in the oven. Don't forget to turn the oven off, otherwise it ain't gonna be nice.